Hey everybody, it's AJ here with Dirt Trax, and I'm bringing you a walk around. We forgot to do this before we did the build on this ATV, so we wanted to make sure that we got it done. But this is the 2023 Can-Am Outlander HD7 Pro Hunting Edition. It's a long name. This is brand new for 2023. You can also get the exact same model for 2024. There's no differences between the two. It uses the HD7 engine, which is the Ace engine. Can-Am is known for their Ace engines. It's kind of like a world design where it fits in absolutely everything that they have, whether it be 1-cylinder, 2-cylinder, or 3 cylinders. You will find this engine in many variations everywhere. This one here, 650 cc's. It delivers approximately 50 horsepower from this in the HD7. If you get the HD5, it's still the 650. It's the exact same motor. It just has probably a different intake exhaust as well as engine management on it. So that's where you get the extra power from. This vehicle, when you go for the hunting edition, you get a whole bunch of cool stuff. You get ultra high molecular weight polyethylene footwells. So that means they're way stronger and they'll take a beating even when it's cold and won't snap or break. That's handy. It has the big foot guards underneath the footwells, so like nice skid plates, they're UHMW looking type stuff. Aluminum front and rear A-arm protectors. Those are super nice and really handy to have. Comes with the big beefy front bumper. Imagine previous version XT, very similar. Rear bumper, same kind of thing, like an XT. Has the camo color, obviously. And then you also get a 3,500 pound winch. So you get a winch on this thing as well. Pretty sweet. Has lots of upgrades. It is the Pro model, so the Pro model comes along with a whole bunch of other stuff like intelligent throttle control, intelligent engine braking, the speed limiter, so you can actually set a speed, hold a button, and hit the throttle, and it will only do that specific speed. So I haven't found a place where I need to use this, but I imagine if you work this vehicle on a farm situation or a ranch situation, if you're running a spreader, that would be probably where it would be really good, like a sprayer or spreader, something like that. You can keep the speed exactly consistent if you want to. I mean, if you were pulling a trailer full of something and you wanted to make sure that you didn't go too fast, you could just hold that button and it'll lock it in at that speed so you don't forget and hit the throttle and, you know, lose a bunch of stuff out of the back. I don't know. I'm trying to come up with a scenario because I haven't found a need for it, but it's on it. It's cool. It's there. Anyways, throttle control, 3-position throttle control. So you have your work, your standard, and your sport mode. I am so thankful that they labeled them these 3 labels because before they used to have like performance and sport mode. And honestly, performance is sport mode to me. So I'm glad that Can-Am relabeled this stuff. It makes a lot more sense. Now, this vehicle itself, it comes with the XPS Trail King tires on it. 12-inch nice aluminum rims, very nice looking. Can-Am always has good looking stock aluminum rims. Trail King tires, they're not bad. You know, they're not a brand name. They're made for Can-Am by another company. They work okay. Do a good job out on the trail. Are they things that make me jump for joy? Not really. They're not like the best tires ever, but they're not the worst either. So it's all good. When it comes to suspension, the suspension on this thing runs 9.75 inches in the front and 10.25 inches out back. So very well suspended for an ATV, extremely well suspended, in fact. It rides great down the trail. It does exactly what it's supposed to do, and I'm very impressed by it. There is tri-mode DPS power steering on this ATV, so you can select your power steering where you desire. Can-Am's always had this. Not anything new there. When you get down to the nitty-gritty, it roughly weighs 1,000 pounds wet. Now, I know the dry weight online says less than that, but I add in roughly 75 pounds for all the liquids that are inside of this vehicle. So roughly 1,000 pounds wet. It'll take 120 pounds on the front rack. It'll take 240 pounds on the rear rack, and it will pull 1,830 pounds off of the rear 2-inch hitch, should you choose to. It does have a built-in USB plug for phone charging. It's got the DESS like all other Can-Am and BRP products. And then there are LED headlights and taillights. This vehicle in stock form, which it is not right now, will set you back $12,999 in Canada and $10,499 in the United States. So something else to touch on, this is our upgraded version. We went ahead and did a build. You're going to be able to see it online. Maybe we can get the link in here, but you can go watch the build on this where we put all of these cool Can-Am parts on. And we went through and did a whole ton of cool Can-Am stuff. Nothing really to do with engine, wheels, and tires. It's already got all the skid plates on it. We didn't need to go under there. It's already got a winch. We didn't need to do that. So what did we do? Well, we did a lot of link accessories. You can see the gear grips up top. These are really cool. They're by Kolpin. Work great for grabbing the rifle, the compound bow, a shovel, a rake, an axe, whatever you want to do. Super easy to use. They're handy, and they mount onto any link mount. So you can go down here on the front rack. You can put them on the rear rack. You can put them on these bins that we put on, whatever you want. Now, on top of that, we did do a bunch of storage bins. One of these is a full toolkit maybe the top one. And that's pretty cool setup. Now, with those gear grips on, I'd have to take them off to show you. Maybe we can bring up an on-screen of what that is, but it's a pretty cool full toolkit, really handy, gives you all the stuff you need. Down underneath that is just another level of storage that's enclosed. You can put your lunch in there, you can put extra tools in there, you can put, clothes in there, you can put whatever you want that you might need down in that bottom bin. And you can stack these. So as long as you buy the extra link mounts, you can stack all this stuff. On this side, we're gonna bring up a picture on screen or show some video. This is the chainsaw holder. It's link mount. Your chainsaw bar goes down like in between the suspension. It's super cool. It mounts perfectly. It keeps the chainsaw bar out of the way. Nothing gets hurt. You can see it down here. It just sticks in nicely. It's not gonna take a huge bar. I think it maxes out at 16 or 18 inch. Maybe it's 18 inch. So you're not putting a massive chainsaw in here, but I mean, when you're going out riding, I don't want like a massive steel 661 on the front of my ATV. There's no point to that. I don't need a 36-inch bar out on the trail. If I do, I got problems. So fits a perfect little saw, MS, whatever, 260 steel. Pop that sucker in there, out on the trail, good to go. It's out of the way, it's in a nice spot, and the blade is tucked away, so you don't have to worry about it. It's not sliding around up front, it's not sloppy, whatever. I like it. Now, if you do have the chainsaw holder, you can't put the front lid on. It does take up storage space, but if you take the chainsaw holder off, yes, your front lid will go back on, and no, you're not gonna have a whole bunch of water and intrusion. There is a little rubber snap that goes in there and seals up the hole for the bar protrusion down into the fender wells. On top of that, a couple of nice halogen fog lights up front, wired in real easy, nice switches back on the dash, looking real stock, factory, fancy, fresh. We did go ahead and put this cool upper pod mount on. It extends the top pod on this thing, and what it does is give you accessibility to mount a windshield. There's multiple windshields that you can mount to this. The windshield will come off very easily if you want to snap it off and you don't want to ride with it. It'll come off quick. On top of that, in behind, it's got this cool, like, in here, your phone has a little steel case. There's a magnet in behind here. Your phone will snap in the front. You can also snap like a GPS on there if you want. Down inside here, we've got a USB port inside, so you can charge your phone or your GPS. You can also store some stuff in there. It's not perfectly watertight, but it's not bad. So that's kind of a cool little feature. In behind, I did put hand guards on. Like keeping stuff off of our hands, especially around hunting season. You want to keep them warm, so this is handy. I didn't put hot grips on, but that would be probably the next step. I would have put hot grips and a thumb warmer on. On top of that, we went ahead and put the MTX audio soundbar in here. I mean, if you're out cruising, if you're cleaning up a hunting lane or a shooting lane, if you're just out doing whatever, or even in the middle of summer when you're riding your ATV, it is nice to have tunes. You don't necessarily have to have them blaring back in your face all the time. This one puts it right up close, so you don't have to have your speaker pods way up front like a lot of people do and playing super loud. This is directly in front of you. You can leave it low and you can still hear it. It gives you really great sound. There's actually some good bass out of it, and it's Bluetooth compatible, so you can plug that in or you can put an accessory line in if you want, but Bluetooth compatible is probably the way that everybody's gonna go. Nice clean mount, mounts to the handlebars. If you want to take it off, it's like 5 minutes. It's not that big of a deal. Coming around back, we put on this huge Link storage trunk. I took the gun scabbard off. We can maybe bring up a shot of it with it on. The gun scabbard will go on the front mount on top of those Link boxes that I showed you where the Kolpin mounts are right now. And you can put the Kolpin mounts down here. You can move all of this stuff around. You can bring that toolbox up front and you can mount those on top of here, and you can put like 6 high if you want to. There's probably a limit, don't quote me on that, but you know what I mean. You can put a lot of stuff on here. This back thing is, back trunk is lockable. It's pretty large. It's like roto molded style, injection molded. It's a good trunk to put stuff in. If you're out during hunting season, you can put a whole bunch of gear in here, whatever you might need. It gives you lots of space and it's easy to take off. It's just like kind of quarter turns inside these big plunger things you turn, and it locks it down onto the Link mount that's right on top of the rear racks. So it's a nice little feature. Gives you some space. It's pretty handy, and it's not really obtrusive. Like, it's not so big that you look at it and go, wow, that thing's huge. I'd feel awkward with that behind me. It's a nice height. There's some of them that are like this tall. I'm not the biggest fan of that. I don't like the look of them, and I don't like that they're just so big and bulky. This is very reasonable, and it comes off nice and easy. So, I mean, when it comes down to performance of the HD7, I would have to say that for 2023, I think, no, I'm gonna scratch that. I know this was my favorite ATV of this season. Not because of the hunting version, not because of all the hunting accessories that we put on it, because really, I want the base ATV to be a solid ATV before I'm going to like anything, you know, by accessorizing it. The base ATV is really, really good. It's so smooth, like buttery smooth. Power is really, really good. The delivery of it is nice. It's got some torque, it's got some grunt. Yeah, 50 horsepower doesn't sound like a lot. It's not huge horsepower. Go buy a 1K if you want, if that's what you're looking for. This is more than enough. In this category, it's smoother, quieter running, less vibrations, more refined than the Grizzly is. And the Grizzly was always my benchmark for like that Japanese refinement that we're all used to, because they know how to build stuff and build it clean. Can-Am reset that benchmark. This is what everybody's going to be benchmarking. They're mid-class 5 to 700 cc, depending on if you get an HD5 or an HD7 in your Pro. This is what people are going to be benchmarking off. Suspension is solid. It's really smooth. Yeah, you can overdrive it if you're going to go out and drive it like it's an XXC, but it's not an XXC. This is an Outlander Pro. It's not meant for that. So try not to categorize these things in the wrong category. This is a like utility, hunting, and just all-round ATV. It's not a sport ATV. It's not a high horsepower ATV. It is exactly what it is, and it does everything that it said that it will do, in my opinion, perfectly. There's nothing about it that I went, oh, I really don't like that. I wish they would have changed that. Nothing. Ergonomics are great. Ride and handling are great. Overall fit and finish is great. Feel of the vehicle is great. Price point is really flipping solid. They did a really good job on this. And I mean, yeah, we've upgraded it with approximately $4,000 worth of Canadian parts from Can-Am. I forgot to, we put the fender flares on. But we put about $4,000 worth of Canadian parts on this from Can-Am. You don't have to do that. Base price, $12,999. It's a lot of ATV Canadian for that. $10,499, I believe I said, for US. That's a lot of ATV for 10 grand. In a world that's gotten really expensive, this is a whole lot of good for a really reasonable price. If you buy one of these things and you're upset, I think there's something wrong with you, because everybody who's got on this has said it's the best ATV they've ridden. So kudos to Can-Am. They did a great job. I don't know where they go from here, but I'm excited to see what they try. And bringing this to maybe the higher horsepower, you know, putting a 1,000 cc engine in this, I'll be interested to see how that goes, how that works, because right now it's darn close to perfection. One of these days I'm going to remember everybody always says start the vehicle and let us hear it. So I will do that. Not without the kill switch on. It's cold out here. It starts nice though, even in the cold. It's nice and quiet, real quiet. All the better to hear the stereo with.